Mother was in service, did clean the local school, college. My father, before he joined the Air Force, was a bus driver at Plymouth. Well, he was killed in 1941, so it must have been about 1940, I should imagine. I can't really remember. Plymouth. He was in Plymouth when he was killed. My mother a lot, my father not very much. I do remember once, before, there was a bright light in the village, and one man called Mr. Bennett was shouting, "The Germans are coming, the Germans are coming." So my father walked over to a place called Cornwall. Oh, that's over there, going towards Tregan way. And there was a searchlight over there. I remember walking over with him. No, no, this man was a bit like Corporal Jones in the army, Don't panic, sir, don't panic. Well, I had a couple of girlfriends, but mostly were boys around here. Summer holiday time, we used to go in the woods, a place called the Grotto, and dam up the river and play down there all day. Go off in the morning early with sandwiches and some drink and didn't come home until it got dark. Lovely. Everyone knew everyone helped one another. The doors were never locked. If you wanted a drink, you go in and can I have a drink, and they give you one. It was always, everyone knew everyone else. I don't know, I don't think he had any really interest, We couldn't afford to have, I had to save up all my money to buy a second-hand bike. Then we used to go out riding with my friends and walking, and the highlight of our life in the summer, my friend and I, was to sit on our mother's front doorstep and listen to Donald Pierce. That was the highlight of my life. But we were happy. We didn't have to have computers or mobile phones to text everyone. We talked to one another. I don't know, any really many memories, because we was too young to understand what war was. We listened to the news with my grandmother, lived with my grandmother, listened to the news with her, and we didn't understand it. And when my father was killed, my brother was only 3 years, I was always said, "Never mind, Daddy's gone home to get better." And I believed that. And when the war was over, my father's coming back. But yeah. Well, I don't know exactly what he was doing there, but I was too young to understand and be told anything. Well, I remember when they bombed Falmouth to start with that night. Then they bombed Tor Hospital. They came up through Probus. They got down to the place called the Truck Hill. What was Truck Hill? The railway line. They dropped a bomb there and just missed the railway line. There's if you see, there's a gate there leading up to a farm. If to the right side of that, going to Tor, you can see when the grass has been cut, a big crater on the right side of the railway line. And then they dropped one over. I think it's Treverva, the place was called. It's gone for a moment, I heard them because the man called Mr. Haley from the Home Guard pushed us in some bushes down the village. Bushes wouldn't save us very much, but we were lucky. Saw the plane going over. It's quite low at the time, No, because it was right up to the front street of the village, and up. So it sort of turned and go off towards Treganley way kind of thing. No, I know there was some that had the elite, the SAS of the Home Guard, then had a place and they sort of stored food up near Trewithen, I think that was,
So that they were the Probus bombers, yeah? Yeah.
We used to watch them down in the village hall, the church hall was there then, where there's house on Treganley Road, the toilets, and they used to be in there with the broom handles and pitchforks and prayed in there. Well, there was not until a few years ago that there was this elite squadron. They had a place where all the food was stored. If anyone came over the bridge, the railway bridge, then and they would be there to stop them with armed guard. If anything came down from Plymouth over the bridge, because they've done other bridges there then, or around, you know, Princetown and places like that, they would come. They were there to guard that. Yes. Well, you couldn't. We didn't know they were coming. Walked up Tregney Road one day, you could see little tiny molehills in the distance, and then we went and noticed all the tent pitched there. We didn't know what we were. Went down this kitchen and we got sweets and chocolates, and my grandmother and that used to do washings for some of them and have them there for meals. They were very kind. Yes. They weren't more than, well, just where Stuart got his garage down there. That's where the Yanks were. One camp. And one camp was a place called the Zolls. And then, could I say black? Dark Americans? They were posted down the bottom of the village. A camp down there, small place, the garage down there. I was shopping, I suppose, and dances and trying to find some girls. I was too young. And then when the Americans left, before they left, there was a place down by the Provost College called the gymnasium down there. They gave us a party before they left.
Wow, what happened at the party? What did you do?
Drank coffee. Oh, that was coffee. You know, and dances, and well, I was too young to dance, but we was all down there, you know. And we went to a bonfire at Twithen. They had a bonfire at Twithen and celebrated up there. Not really, because we never went short of anything. You know, we never went short of, my pet grandparents in Plymouth who sent us a sweet ration every month. You know, and it's more like an adventure really, in a way. Children listen to all these things that's going on. You didn't really realise what was happening. You know, you look at people dying, but we didn't really understand what dying was, you know. Oh, a bit shaky, I think it was, but it was another adventure, you know. We were never used to things like that, guns and you know, in the village. You didn't know really what it was. Mm-hmm. No one complained. What we had, my grandparents used to kill pigs during the war, and all the neighbours would get stuff given to them. It wasn't, that's mine, I'm keeping it. Anyone wanted to go to town, oh, my shoes, my grandmother's friend would say, "Your shoes are very good, Millie." "Oh, borrow mine, Gladys." You know, by the time my grand got them back again, half the neighbourhood had borrowed the shoes. You know, that was what it was like then. Mm-hmm. I tell my grandchildren, we had a choice when during the war, if you about things. You ate it or you went hungry. Fair enough. But we were never hungry. Well, I didn't really understand it. I did show my grandchildren a few years ago what it was, what we used to have, what our rations were for each person per week, and they wouldn't believe me.
Frightening, really.
I said, no sell-by dates. Mildew bread, you picked off the mildew and ate the rest. No sell-by dates. No fridges. No telephones. If you want a telephone, rather go into the village and use the phone. But we were happier than they are today. Because we all had the same. There was no one saying, "I got the special phone, I've got the special bike, I've got this special thing." We all had the same. Even our Christmas presents each year were somebody else's from the year before, all tarted up for us. And there's a man called Mr. Minear. He used to make toys. You could always tell who made them because he'd paint everything red and green. Wheelbarrows and dolls' houses. But I remember when we came home from Plymouth, I went to live with my grandmother up here, and my mother and brother came home, and I had a doll's house, and we put it at the bottom of the stairs, and went up on the landing and threw bits of wood onto the doll's house, bombing it. We didn't know really what it meant when they were really bombing houses, you know, but that's what we did. My doll's house, blocks of wood. I did spend a couple of months, or maybe 12 months in Plymouth, where the war started first. My mother and my father was living there, my grandparents, and you could sit in the stairs in Marshmills and watch the planes. machine gun, and you see the bullets coming down, the little, sort of dot, 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 all hot. And you could also, my grandmother's porch, watch Falmouth down there when we came home after that. Big planes go over in Falmouth. About the first 12 months I was sent home because mother couldn't look after me, my brother and my grandparents. She used to go up on the moors from Plymouth, bad air raid, and my mother couldn't look after her, so I was sent home. Gone to school, came home, my homework, maybe go out to play for a while, but we had to be in at a certain time. And woe betide if we didn't come in at a certain time. And I tell you what used to be lovely, we used to do in the summer evenings. All the women from the village, or a lot of women from the village, we had permits to go down to the woods to bring on wood. And we all take old prams down and put 4 poles each corner of the pram and load up the pram as high as it would go with wood. You go out in the road and you could hear the wood, the dead wood, branches falling down, being hit on the ground and breaking in small pieces to bring home and that was a treat for us to do that. Get in the woods and bring home wood. No saws or choppers, mind. We would take the wood. No, well, the windows were all had paper on them and crosses and things, and wire netting on top of that. But we was never told where we had to go if an air raid happened, because I don't think we ever thought it would happen down this way.
And did you have a shelter in your garden?
No.
Do you know where the shelters were?
No. I don't think there was any in the village. I know we did at Plymouth. We had a big table in the dining room up there, made of metal, and one in the garden. But I used to play in there. In the table, in the big. I suppose it was a steel top table. I don't know what it was, but we'd just sit in there and play. I remember once pinching the bacon ration when it came from the man delivered the bacon, and ate it all raw underneath the table. I wasn't very popular. But I could never remember being hungry. Whatever my gran made, because we had to eat it. There's no I don't like that. You had to, or you weren't hungry, and that was the end of it. I used to like her stew though. We were lucky because my grandfather, when he lost an arm during the war. He was born in 1941 as well, and he used to keep pigs and chicken and grow vegetables. He would have a pig in one house. I don't know if you know anybody, come up Tregenny Road before the doctor's surgery, there's a long garden there, there's a couple of bungalows. He had that long field there, and he would part it off one year. The chickens would be in one half and vegetables in the other one. The year after, reverse. And a huge pig, about 14 or 15 score it used to be. And then the man would come and kill it and pour boiling water over it and scrape all the hairs off it and take all the insides out, and someone would have all the pipes, the insides and egg hogs put in. Another one would have the feet, someone else want the ears, the head. And always pork dished out to all the neighbours in a row of houses where we lived. The Yanks were very good. They gave us a lot of food as well during the war. Brought up tins of fruits and things we couldn't get, and sweets, and we used to go down to the camp. Yeah, they're very, very kind people, Americans. I know they disappeared. They came. As quick as they came, they went, and then they buried a lot of things in different places in the village. They had to get rid of. A place called WarGen's Quarry. There's supposed to be a dump over there. They dumped a lot, and then on the way to Grandpound Road was another place they dumped a lot of things, buried them. Well, life was all fun. And it was a silly thing to say, but we never seemed to worry about anything. We knew something was happening, but not. I can't say we saw a lot of actual war down here, apart from that one airplane going over and dropping a couple of bombs. Then we sort of thought of it, but it never happened more than that once. No. I don't think they could watch anywhere. Being told my father was dead. I can tell you what I did. A man called Fugler told me that my father would... I knew something wrong because the telegrams were flying to and fro, you know, and then he came and told me, and I took the football off the table, went up the stairs and threw it down over the stairs and slammed it against the wall downstairs. But that was the only time that, you know... I mean, for days I was going on about my daddy. I remember Joe saying that, you know, but... we were happy. We had a happy... I know it's easy to say during the war, but we had a happy life, happy childhood. I remember all the parties and everything, but I don't remember exactly saying all the words over, you know. Just ran and done the bonfire and played, you know, in the woods and whatnot, and that was it. I don't know. Like I said, we never saw much of the war down here. You know, like in the big towns, Plymouth and places like that, where they were bombing and had to be, that never happened to us down this part of the world. I used to go for holidays there with my grandparents, but my mother made her home down here, you know, so my grandmother could look after my brother and I, and so she could go to work. No, only what's happening today. The Afghan war, my grandson's been there twice. I don't know who started it off. I think Mr. Veneer, I think he had a lot to do with it. I'm not sure, but it was I don't know how much it cost. You had to buy them, these things, and then the money that was collected, with cigarettes was bought and things like that sent to troops that were abroad, and one of these things as well. No, would let them know what's going on in the village. I think only one man I know didn't, and that was Mr. Edward from the top. He said he never received anything from them, but a lot of other people said they did, you know.